Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Comes to you live from the outskirts here, and this is the Gaming Saloon for March 25th, 2023. With your host, Peacemaker 2448, and wrap it up, Salon.
Hi.
We have an interesting lot of news this week.
Especially coming off of first Halo.
Yeah. It was everything I was hoping it would be, and we don't even know what the tank is like yet.
I'm gonna laugh if the tank is actually the weakest thing.
Oh God.
Because I feel like it should be.
Mm-hmm. But before we get into the collection of news this week, tell me what you've been playing.
Well, I did get to play a little bit of Star Citizen. You know, between the bugs.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something else, but I don't really remember what.
I got to try out Hi-Fi Rush since it's on Game Pass.
Oh, I remember what. I tried to do a Wind Waker rando, and that did not go well.
Oh, of course not.
I don't know if I goofed on the tracker or if I goofed on the settings, but something didn't jive. And yeah, when I realized it didn't jive, I'd already invested too much, and I just said, you know what? I'm done.
Hi-Fi Rush is at least good. You don't have to follow the rhythm if you don't want to. You just get extra damage in for your finishers on your combos. If you time it right, you get bonus effects and stuff on them. So it's not as heavy reliant on the rhythm. But if you can get on rhythm and stay on rhythm, it feels really good. Also, everything in that game is on beat. Everything, even the cutscenes, the audio of them is on beat for what's in the background. It's ridiculous. And I forget the name of the dev, but it's the Evil Within devs. I forget their name offhand, but they're the ones that made the game. So it's really good. I've been trying that out. I've also been playing Jenny LeClue for side project stuff we're doing in the background. I've only got one episode out, but it was really fun. Especially since it took me so long to play it, they now put in full voice acting in the game. The game didn't have full voice acting before. Not much else. Yeah, not much else. Just some mobile game stuff on the side that I'm just auto-battling through. So, shall we get to the news of the week?
I guess we shall.
Alright, we have a new version of Sonic Origins, dubbed Sonic Origins Plus, coming. We're going to get more games, Amy as a playable character, and a bunch more stuff. So it's going to have the Game Gear games. So Mean Bean Machine, Blast, Chaos, Drift 2, Labyrinth, Spinball, Sonic 1 and 2, Sonic Triple Trouble, Tails Adventure, and Tails Sky Patrol. Amy is playable in Genesis and Sega CD titles. So 1, 2, 3, Knuckles and CD. And Knuckles will be playable in Sonic CD, which apparently the original release did not have that option. Which is dumb because that's a part of the original game. It'll release standalone as $40, but if you already have Origins, you just pay $10 and you upgrade to this version of the game.
Oh, there's not gonna be some kind of stupid that you can have 15 different levels, and if you buy certain levels of it, you get certain things, but you can
Yeah.
never get all of it.
Mm-hmm. So sounds neat. I wonder how Amy plays, especially since this is like pre, like modern incarnation of Amy. Like this is the Amy I think everyone forgets that's Amy.
I mean, if I had to guess, probably like Sonic, but slower.
I guess, which means she won't be fun to play at all. So
Pretty much.
yeah, this is due out in June. Did they give a specific date? June 23rd. So hooray. Next up, how would you like an open world Lego racing game? So this is coming from 2K's called Lego 2K Drive.
Very original.
Yes, I have questions about this because, you know, it's a Lego racing game. You can play the trailer in the background because there's a part of it that makes me I'm like, how does that work? You build your own more or less machines and stuff. It seems to have like a freeform build mechanic and a bunch of templates. But you know how in Sonic and Racing Transform, where it has like the vehicles transform between land, air, and ground, or land, air, and sea for races and stuff? This does this as well, except I think you choose, because it goes from one land vehicle to a sea vehicle to a different land vehicle in the trailer. It seems electrical, I think, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm really curious about that part, but otherwise it's kind of looks like an open world racing game for all intents and purposes. You drive around, you'll probably have race other challenges and stuff to do at certain checkpoints that'll take up parts of the open world. Otherwise, I don't know what else to say. It's an open world racing game, but it's Lego, so you can build whatever you want. Which is probably the only really cool, interesting part of this. Are you interested at all?
Not really right off the bat.
Yeah, I'm curious how freeform the customization would be. Like, all right, what's blocking me from getting X blocks of different types and all that in order to, like, you know, play? But next up, we have another Ninja Turtles game in development coming off Shredder's Revenge. Unfortunately, it's a completely different video game. So there's this dark and gritty Turtles comic that is highly praised called The Last Ronin. Essentially, it's the bad end for the Ninja Turtles because everybody dies except Mikey, and Mikey is haunted by the ghosts of his brothers as he tries and goes and defeats Shredder and stuff on his own. Apparently, we're getting a video game version of that from... Who did they say the developer was on this? Paramount seems to be working on this. They're citing the recent God of War games as a comparison to what they're trying to do. So, how do you feel about a dark and gritty Ninja Turtles game?
Don't think it'll do as good.
Probably not.
And the only reason that I feel like that is because I feel like it's going to lose what a lot of people are probably going to associate with it.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to get people crashing it when they don't need it.
Mm-hmm. Especially because it's like, how do we do a single-player Turtles game where you only play as one of the four turtles and you don't have to play as the other ones? We adapt Last Ronin because only one of them was alive then, and I'm like, okay, cool, that's not very interesting. you kind of remove the core aspect of turtles in that respect.
I mean, it
not
might be. It depends on how good the source material.
Apparently, Last Ronin is really good for a lot of people.
But I also know that there's going to be a lot of people going to be like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Which is bad. I mean, shouldn't be closed-minded, but at the same time, people be people.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
No?
Okay. This one's gonna have a lot to unpack personally because it's a Persona thing, and I don't know how to feel about this. So we're getting a Persona 5. Yeah, we have a Persona 5 spin-off game that is coming to mobile and PC that is Chinese exclusive currently, with currently no plans to come to Japan, let alone stateside, called Persona 5: The Phantom X. This is featuring a new cast of characters set in the setting of Persona 5, with not Joker, as some people have put it, not Chie, and Alfriend. I don't remember their names offhand. But the reason this is there's a lot to unpack is because this game actually looks fucking good. It looks like they just ported Persona 5 to mobile and PC, which, you know, they've already did that with PC, but still, this actually looks really good. It kind of looks better than base Persona 5, which shouldn't be surprising. Praise Persona 5 is a PS3 title. But yeah, it has all of the Persona 5 gameplay stuff of going around Tokyo and stuff, and doing social links, and doing dungeon crawling, and beating bosses, and fishing, and it's just a Persona game. It's just a straight up regular ass Persona game, presumably with gacha mechanics for the Personas, because that's the only thing they could really gachify in this game. I don't even know if that's a word, but that's the only thing that they. Yeah, that's the only thing that can really gachify, I feel like, is the Personas, because what the fuck else would you gachify in fucking Persona that people would actually want to spend money is to get the Personas? But still, it looks good. And then there's also 2 other party members that we see in the trailers. We have a full party of like 4 plus our Al friends for 5. And presumably there will be more. But I'm like, what is the long-term plans of this? How long will it go? Will this like be active whenever it stops making money? Will there just be a single player mode of this whenever it like they decide to shut the servers down and stuff? Because this is not the first foray of Shin Megami Tensei into mobile. We had a mobile Shin Megami Tensei game way back in the day, but that's been decades. So I want to play this, but also I'm very confused, and I don't know how else to feel. How do you feel as a not Persona person?
I mean,
Fair. It's not your cup of tea.
No, not really.
I hope this doesn't just stay Chinese exclusive. I hope it gets like elsewhere in the world so the rest of us can play it. On the flip side, would you
officially, I doubt it will.
Yeah.
Unofficially, yeah, it will.
Yeah, I'm playing Super Robot Wars DD, which is not officially released in the States, but, you know, all you have to do is just download the little thing for the game and you can play it. It's not region locked. I presume this will be the case as well. Anyway, would you like another developer making a RPG wrestling game? Because there is now another studio doing an RPG wrestling game called Wrestle Story. This is coming to PC via TikTok Games. You can customize your character. You can do wrestling stuff. It's another wrestling RPG. I wish one of these would fucking come out, please. Stop announcing wrestling games and put one of these fuckers out, please. Also, Paper Mario style command inputs and stuff. This is the third one now. Stop teasing me with wrestling RPGs and put one out, damn it. Please. Because this just got announced. WrestleQuest, I think it's still not out yet. It's supposed to come out in May. But I don't know if that's still the case or not. I have to pull up Steam and see. And then the other one, I think it's Kickstarter failed, so I don't know what it's going on with it. But I think the developer's still trying to work on it. Yeah, WrestleQuest is listed as coming soon. It is still not slated for May currently. So yeah, damn it, will one of these come out? Are you interested in a wrestling RPG at all?
What do you think?
No.
Pretty much.
Fair enough. Next up, not last, it was last until I remembered something. Gerard, you insane fucker, you. God damn it. So, the article is just here to have an article because the main thing is Gerard's video on this and his journey to more or less archive the entire 3DS and Wii U eShops for archival purposes so they can be officially, archived. And if they're officially archived in like the I forget the charity that he's doing it for or that he's donating them towards. But if they were put into libraries and stuff, you could rent out the games and stuff that he is archiving. Because that's how that works. In theory, at least. So yeah, Gerard went on a 3-month journey, spending over $22,000 to purchase and download every Wii U and E3 or 3DS eShop titles in downloadable content for associated games. All of them. All of the Fire Emblem DLC too, which is like a good $100 in of itself, I believe. But all of it's being donated to the Video Game History Foundation, where they will preserve the 3DS and Wii U that he has and the associated hard drives hard drives in SD cards, because guess what? It took an additional hard drives and SD cards. Also, hey, guess what? There are hard limits on putting money in your wallets on the eShop, in case you didn't know. You can only put about $250 on your eShop wallet before Nintendo's like, nope. And if you try to work around it, as they did, because they called Nintendo to be like, hey, we're working on this project, can you like lift these to like help us make this faster? They're like, no, that's hard coded into the shop, we can't do that.
Dang.
There's a lot of things that you probably never realized were a thing until you watch this. Like GameStop has a policy of you cannot purchase, I think, what was it, more than $200 worth of eShop cards at once. Or so, it was like you cannot purchase more than a certain amount of like digital currency cards from GameStop at once.
Huh.
Like there's hard limits. But yeah, it is it's really good. It's a really good video. I highly encourage everyone to check it out since it is in the article. Gerard doing some god tier work here for archival purposes. And yes, all of this is probably archived via piracy and all that, but this is official archiving that can actually mean distribution through libraries and other stuff if we could have the laws and all that for it. So Gerard, thinking ahead. So good on him. Last up, and this will take an eternity to load. I am sorry. Because unfortunately, the Wayback Machine... Well, if you try to go to a different page, it's going to take I was about to say, if you go to a different page, it's going to take an eternity to load again. Because it does for me, and it may just be me. But there's a Museum of Fail up in New York, and they have some video game inclusions. And I thought we would play a game of... Does that deserve to be in the Museum of Fail, I guess? So, first up, it's the Nokia N-Gage. You remember the Nokia N-Gage?
Nope.
So for those that don't know, this was Nokia's attempt at getting in on the portable video game market with essentially a gamer phone that had its own set of exclusive games and stuff. Stop Skeletons for Fighting has a big retrospective video on the N-Gage. But yes, this is a video game portable video game console and a phone. Now tell me, where would you guess that you have to talk into on this phone when you're trying to have a conversation?
I mean, as dumb as it sounds, probably one of the sides.
You're actually correct. It is the top of it. You have to hold it with the top of this N-Gage facing the side of your head in order to talk into it.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't surprise me.
So do you think this deserves to be in the Museum of Fail?
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, a thing I didn't know about. Apple made a video game console back in the day. The Apple Pippin. Look at that controller.
It's a boomerang, mate.
Is that a trackball in the center?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Good fucking lord. And I assume the thing on the left is a D-pad.
Ish, yes.
So that can't be an analog stick.
I think it's one of them hybrid in between kind of deal.
Probably. But yeah, it looks not great. I didn't know Apple made a video game console that apparently lasted for 2 years, had games, and then flopped, and then Apple swept it under the rug and never talked about it again. So I'm gonna say that deserves a fail.
Yeah.
Also, this was 95 to 97, and it cost $600.
I mean, this is the same company that doesn't think twice about making people spend an arm and a leg for iPhones and iDevices.
The N64 cost $200. Also, apparently Bandai made this. Were the manufacturers on this. This is not great. All right. So the reason I brought this up is I saw this on the news in the morning when my parents were leaving for work, and I saw it. And what they had on display was an Atari 2600 with a copy of E.T. And I didn't really know the context for that display, so I was like, hold up, the Atari 2600 is not a failure. Technically. E.T. in of itself is technically not a failure. Because I'm sure the reason E.T. is here is because of the crash of the video game market. But I don't... E.T.'s not that bad of a game, all things considered, from what I've seen and read. Not that bad of a game. But I guess do you count E.T. as a failure?
That's that question there.
Yeah.
I don't know, honestly.
I think if you put it with other games that came out at the time that were a part of the crash of the industry, yes. But on its own, no. I don't think E.T. is that bad, all things considered. Even though I think in the article they list for this, let me grab the numbers. Because they quote some numbers in here. They reported a 536 million loss. Yeah, Atari reported a $536 million loss in 1983, which was not directly connected to ET because it moved 1.5 million units, but it was far lower than expected. But yeah, also that landfill is not full of just ET games. It's full of dozens upon dozens of Atari games, because that was kind of the problem, is Atari flooded the market with a bunch of shovelware games, and yeah, nobody wanted to buy them.
They were just making indie games before indie games were a thing.
Well, when you're the only company on the market, really, I think it stops being an indie and more like you.
I mean, fair, but look at every one of our releases and tell me how many shovelware Switch titles we have.
Fair. The other thing they have listed is No Man's Sky, which I would not say it's a failure now.
I don't.
And I think
I don't know if I full on disagree with the worst game of the year comment they have listed there.
For No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm. Biggest lie and disappointment of the year, yes. Completely agree with both of those statements. Because, yeah, I mean, that came down to the developers promised way more than they could have ever delivered, and now they're having to make up for it.
So I'm pretty sure I can find some a far bigger stinker than No Man's Sky for 2016.
That's why I'm like, worst game? Don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
The other two comments, yeah, full on.
Oh, that's the Lego Marvel's Avengers. Never mind. I was supposed to say Marvel's Avenger. Like, wait, no, that's the Lego one. Never mind. Wrong game. But yeah, I would not call it that, especially because No Man's Sky has turned it around. It's turned into like a fairly decent to good game in these last few years, or the last couple of years or so.
Flip to the next page.
Hi, Virtual Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was on display. That's physically on display. Yeah, it's the Virtual Boy. It probably goes without saying. Yeah, that's a failure. Yeah, that one flopped pretty hard.
I mean, do you want your eyes to literally bleed?
Yes, also, would you like to hunch down and look into this thing to play it? Because, yeah, you can't just strap this on like a headset. No, you gotta crunch down and, like, look into it. That's the extra thing about the Virtual Boy that I think people look over in terms of, like, comfort to play this game. Like, no, you can't wear this thing like a headset, like a simple virtual headset. No, it's on a stand, and the stand doesn't work.
It's one of those, you gotta love Nintendo's willingness to try things, but 90% of the time that comes back to bite them in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
Because as good of a console as the Switch is, I have a funny feeling the flack that it got for not really being comparable to PlayStation and Xbox kind of did hamper it some. We go back farther, the Wii U, need I say more?
Mm-hmm.
Both
also
really good pieces of tech that came from Nintendo and pushes stuff forward. But
yeah,
sometimes they don't always fix everything before pushing it out, and I think the Virtual Boy is probably the biggest example of that one.
Mm-hmm. I would also point out that in 2016, Mighty Number 9 came out. Mighty Number 9 and Umbrella Corps. Umbrella Corps came out in 2016, and you're gonna say that No Man's Sky is the worst?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not the worst.
Now,
We've had some real bad stinkers since then in that year.
Mighty Number 9 might more rivaled the biggest disappointment of 2016 comment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know necessarily about worst game of the year either for that one, because of the simple fact of a lot of people kind of had the Mega Man nostalgia glasses on.
Yeah.
So a lot of the bad in that got overlooked at the beginning.
Yeah. But last up, the Power Glove. The oh so wonderful Power Glove that doesn't function. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that goes in there. Also, what's not in this this virtual tour that they had back when the pandemic started, that they have on display, Cyberpunk. Which feels also fair enough, but I feel like they are trying to turn that game around. But I guess, would there be anything you would want to add to its collection?
Right out of the gate, I can't really think of anything, but at the same time, we usually try to ignore the stuff when it's a fail too.
I mean, I can think of one that unfortunately would be a trifecta of Nintendo things.
I mean, to be fair, you did also mention another one. On accident, but you did mention another one.
Oh, what? Which one? Oh, Mighty Number 9?
Nope.
Oh.
Marvel's Avengers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the Wii U, because the Wii U did in fact fail miserably.
Depends on how you're defining fail. Fail as a console, yes. Fail because of the way that it was set up, I don't really think so. Because if you look at a lot of what got brought from the Wii U to the Switch is pretty much the Wii U gamepad.
Yeah.
So I mean, from a tech standpoint, no, it wasn't a failure, but from a sales standpoint and marketing standpoint, yes.
I think as its place in history, it is a failure because it has to be a failure for the Switch to be what it is. Because if the Wii U did not fail, we would not have the Switch as we have it.
But here's the thing. People were balking at the Wii because of the motion control.
Mm-hmm.
The Wii U practically nulled that.
Yeah.
The problem, I feel like, more comes from that, and why no one really came back over to it, comes down to two things. One, obviously the specs weren't up to what the other two were. It was trying to compete as a home console and was not even in the realm of trying to compete.
Yeah.
But two, doesn't the Wii U sound kind of like a Wii 2 concept?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that it probably put everyone's minds in, oh, this is gonna have motion gimmicks. I feel like it was doomed out the gate kind of deal. That's why I'm like, from a sales standpoint, yes, completely fail.
Yeah.
From a tech standpoint, I don't think so though.
Mm-hmm.
Because it does look like Nintendo's still kind of held true to a lot of what they did with the Wii U.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one of those arguable on potential being in here.
Yeah. But do you have any nominations?
like I said, I can't really think of anything besides, the one you accidentally said.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I guess you could. I guess technically you could say Stadia could join this too.
Yeah, but what would you put there for the Stadia? Just the controller?
No, because you can use that on other stuff now. It legitimately now has nothing unique to it.
Mm-hmm.
Just take the logo that I'm sure Google had in the office and just put it there.
Yeah, just put it in like a plastic plaque of like, here lies the Stadia. This is all you get. We don't have anything else.
This is what's left of it.
Yep. All right. Anything else before we hit releases?
Huh?
All right then. Releases. Let's just hit the 28th then with MLB The Show 23 for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch, and Sifu for Xbox One and Series X. On the 29th, Forza Horizon 5 Rally Adventure for Series X. Run Bean Galactic for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. On the 30th, Guns N' Runs for Xbox One and Switch. Saga of Sins for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. Ultimate Anime Jigsaw Puzzle for Switch. On the 31st, Atari 50th, the Anniversary Collection for Xbox Series X. Little Nightmares for Android and iOS. It'll be Tap Sports Baseball 2023 for Android and iOS. Romancing Saga Mistral Song Remastered for Android and iOS. On the April 1st, Panda's Village for Switch. On the 2nd, Atari Mania for PlayStation 4 and 5.
I mean 4th.
On the 4th, my bad. On the 6th, Curse of the Sea Rats for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. Melon Journey Bittersweet Memories for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. The Answer is 42 for Switch. And on the 27th, Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion for PlayStation 4. It's a very dry list, folks. Not a whole lot going on. I guess anything else?
No.
I'll take that as a no. Tomorrow, it's the rest of Armada. It's the finale of Armada. Hooray! It's finally over.
Where we get to see, very little of our final villain.
What are you talking about? We've been seeing the final villain the entire show.
Okay, I disagree though.
Yep. 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 I know. I know. Yeah, it was not a great retcon. It feels like a retcon. Anyway, that's tomorrow. Thursday, we continue RE4 Remake. We'll probably rescue Ashley and then beat a couple bosses. Well, beat a couple bosses, then rescue Ashley. I forgot the order of events on that one. Friday, assuming Star Citizen, the shit's the bad, will be Cursed Halo 3. I guess we'll just continue where we left off.
I mean, that works for me.
Saturday will be something.
You know what? Oh, no, I've got it in there for Saturday. Someone just forgot.
Oh.
Grad Rando.
All right, yeah, we're gonna try after Advent though, and hope it doesn't explode on us.
Not so much that I'm worried it'll explode, it's more that we won't have a good way of tracking where to find everything. Because I've not gotten to full on do one.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't expect us to actually, finish it.
But that's Friday, and then, or not Friday, Saturday, and then next Sunday we get to start Kamen Rider Black. We hopefully get to start a good show.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. But if you like what you're seeing, folks, drop a follow. We appreciate chipping away at Billy Go at Jesus and Arturi. Updates with life. Exclamation point Discord chat is learn. Drop by, say hi. See you tomorrow, folks.